I'm so happy to have you here. So happy to have you. That's pretty. It's your birthday present. You don't need this for class. I just want to make sure y'all get more. I know, that's why I've got to. Did everybody get one of the little packages? All right. Well, last time we were very timely. Jennifer, how you doing? Still see there's some seats there. I have an extra chair here if we run out. Did everybody get their little package? There's some seats there. Do y'all need some more chairs? I've got 2 chairs back here. I'm not using. I'm a senior. Y'all want to go over here?
This is one day. I don't know what to
Were you at really? Not quite, but close. There's 35 chairs, but y'all want to grab another chair? Okay. Well, I will go ahead and get started. So, good morning. Good morning. Looks like everybody's having a great time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we've been having a lot of fun too in here. It's not chocolate, but lemons are amazing too. So, hold your judgment until you taste everything. We need some more chairs. How many more chairs? Would you don't want one? I think we still need one. He's got one right here. Oh, there's one right there. Okay. All right. Well, let's get started so we don't miss anything. And so you all have already been to the T class, and you learned a lot of good health benefits. And we're going to learn a few more here, but we're also going to taste some yummy things. Has anybody tried the minty lemon limeade?
Yes.
That's thanks to Paula Dean. And we're going to taste some lemon blossoms, which is another Paula Dean recipe. And we're going to actually make learn about making an all-purpose house cleaner that's organic and easy to do. And then you have a spa moment card, which will go over what's in that and how you can benefit from your spa moment at home. We didn't have a big enough jacuzzi. We do have a dunking tub for baptisms, but we don't have that here today. So, but I do want to thank you for being here. And I wanted to say, don't worry if you're not one of the winners, because there's a little gift for you when you go out. There's some little handmade soap that's lemon scented, and it reminds us to sweeten the day with gratitude, which is a major brain building tool. And those of you who know me, I'm all about brain building and positivity most of the time, but I try. And so let's start with one of God's amazing miracles. This thing is amazing, lemons. When you look at a lemon, does it evoke any emotions? What?
Happy.
Happy,
Cheerful.
cheerful,
Fresh.
fresh, awakening. Yes, and that reminds me of my scripture. Lemons, you know, it's just like morning to me. It's like sunrise. And this scripture came to mind. Arise and shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. You know, I love that. And the other scripture that makes me think of lemons is, let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify the Lord. And I just want to say, it would be so wonderful if you all think of those when you see a lemon. And I want to say, keep lemons in your house, keep them in your kitchen so that you can have that light around you. One of the ladies in the last class said that one of the speakers she heard one time said, line them up on your mantle if you're having a difficult time, and even if there's sickness in your house, it reminds us to be uplifted. And of course, you know, the scriptures are what really makes everything work well, right? So I want to start out with a little bit of using your imagination. What this will show us is how our brain doesn't know the difference in imaginary and real. Okay? So we know this is a real lemon, but I want you to pretend that you're holding a lemon. I want you to close your eyes, and we're going to fool our brain, okay? So you're holding a lemon and you're feeling it. You're feeling those little knobs on the skin. It's a little bit knobby, but it's smooth and waxy, and this one's cold and firm, so you know that it's fresh. And then I want you to pretend you're taking your thumb and you're scraping that skin. That smell, that zest, that zing that you get when you smell a lemon. Oh, it's fabulous. And then I want you to pretend that you've got it on a cutting board and you're cutting it in those little wedges like you might put in your water or tea. And I want you to pick up one of those wedges and tilt your head back and open your mouth and squeeze it in your mouth. Yum. It's so tangy. So you can open your eyes now. You may have felt your salivary glands, so you just, you know, working. Feel that? You just tricked your brain into thinking you just ate some lemon. And what's really cool about that, and one of the messages for me today, is how we have authority over our thoughts, that we can train our brain. And we can fool our brain. Even if we're down, we can fool our brain into releasing those positive chemicals that say, I'm not in a bad mood, I'm grateful, I am happy. So we're going to work on some of those things about lemons. So when you smell a lemon, what comes to mind? Someone said fresh the last time. That's one of the biggies when we smell it. You know, tangy. They're uplifting, you know, the same kind of things, you know. So just having those lemons around, and if just looking at it isn't enough, you know, just scratch the skin a little bit. It smells incredible. So I wanted to go over some of the benefits of lemons. Does anyone here have a benefit they'd like to share about lemons? I'm sorry? Digestive, excellent. Yes, it's very helpful with digestion. It lifts our mood. It revs us up, and by that I mean it converts foods into energy. What does that is the thiamine and riboflavin in lemons. So if you need an energy boost, that little squeeze in water will make a big difference. And a lot of the benefits, they are usually talking about if you ingest a lemon or a whole citrus fruit during the day. It doesn't always have to be just lemon, but lemon is more powerful than some of the other citrus fruits. So you can mix it up a little bit. But in water, throughout the day, has some mighty powerful benefits. So it boosts your immunity. It helps, it's full of antioxidants that help fight the free radicals. So it's, can help prevent cancer in that way. It slows the aging process. It does that by stimulating collagen. We don't naturally make collagen, you have to stimulate collagen. So it does that as well. And you'll notice in your little gift, there's a little lemon juice in there, but lemon is part of that spa opportunity.
I think I need a bag of those.
I got some extras over here. It lowers blood pressure. It improves heart health. It can help alleviate headaches, ease aches and arthritis pain. This is a recent study from Japan, is that in this study there was a 23% reduction in chances of getting dementia.
Wow.
So that's another great benefit. And as a flavoring, it adds such brightness and deliciousness. We had the most amazing Greek chicken last night, and the broccoli had been roasted, but then had some lemon juice. It was so good. Just really made the difference in the dish. So there's a lot of benefits for us to enjoy just from trying to get a fruit load of citrus into our day. Someone asked me, and maybe someone here, I don't have the answer, but if we do this on a regular basis, thinking about the enamel on our teeth, because it can be hard on that. So I don't know the answer to that. I'm going to have to find that one out, but I know there's some toothpaste that help restore enamel, so there's probably a balance that we need to find in there.
But if you drink the lemon, I read up on it, but if you have the lemons in your mouth, or drink a lot of lemon juice, or eat a lot of lemons, when you drink water and other drinks, it kind of washes it away.
Okay,
So it's
good.
not just sitting
there.
Right.
Okay, good. Thank you. So, are y'all already doing lemon in your water?
Yes.
Good. Yay. So let's talk a little bit more about the brain. And if you came to chocolate class last year, we talked about how anxiety and stress and unforgiveness and anger and those things zap the oxygen out of our brain. It takes it up. We only get so much in there. Now, lemons will help with the blood circulation in the brain, so that's another positive about lemon. But we have a way to gain back that oxygen and release the positive endorphins in our brain. And the number one tool is gratitude, by practicing gratitude. There's a book called 1,000 Gifts that I read several years ago, and she wrote down 1,000 things she was thankful for, and I challenged myself to do it. It took a while, it took some months, but I did reach 1,000, but I was on a mission, so every day I would try to notice things and think of things I was thankful for. She was even thankful for how pretty cheese is when she was grating it, and the sunlight came in on her suds in her sink, and the bubbles, and just looking at life a different way. And I really enjoyed that, and I think it made a difference in my life. Sometimes it takes some repetition, so that's enough time after 40 days. It's a habit. So I highly recommend, shoot for 1,000 and see what happens. And you might enjoy her book too. And I can't think Voskamp, yes, it's a great book. So something I've learned since that time, which is relatively new in the science world, where they're actually, with the functional MRI, seeing more about our brain, is there's a part of our brain, it's at the base, at the brain stem. It's called the RAS, which stands for Reticular Activation System. And this is, it controls your sleep and some other things with the brain, but what I found fascinating is it's our filter. We have so much stimulus around us, like thousands of stimulus every second, and our brain can't handle it. So the RAS filters in what we've taught it is important to us. So when you hear, to train your brain or to change your mind, to think on positive things, what you're doing is you're teaching your RAS to filter in the positive. If we're negative, if we're Debbie Downers, we're teaching our filter, that's what we're interested in, and that's what it's going to point out to us, or all the things to be afraid of, or all the things to worry about. So isn't that fascinating? So what are some ways we can train our brain for the positive?
Affirmation.
Affirmation, very good. To ourselves and to others, right? We can help each other. We can be the one who brings the sadness all the time, or the woe is me's, or we can be the one that brings the joy. Even if, like you just saw with your lemon experiment, we didn't have to really eat a lemon, did we? So we don't really have to be joyful to
Bring the joy.
bring the joy. That's right. And we'll train our brain, and we will think we are full of joy. And it's amazing, the schools that we bring the program to, and we teach brain building tools to kids. And our goal is to end bullying and prevent adolescent suicide, which we're partnering with Wolfson Children's Hospital now, who have requested a 300% increase in their mental health for children because of all the issues that have gone on with COVID. They even had to open a full floor for children's mental health, and they've never had that before. It's better now that things are opening up, but there's still a lot of need for this literature and information and tools to get into the kids' hands. And at one of the schools I was at the other day, the principal said there was this one teacher who came up and she said, "I did what you said, and I've been saying thank you all day long, and it's not working. I'm not feeling any happier." So she said, I just told her to keep it up. And she said, you know what? She came back later in the day and she said, it's working. So it works. It might take a while. I guess if you're really dug in, don't give up. Don't give up. Keep trying. So any questions or any comments on your RAS? Sort of like razzmatazz. Yeah, isn't that interesting? And we have authority over it. You'll hear scriptures reflected in some of these things. So, keep your lemon and let this be, it's a simple little inspiration, but it's so bright and it's so light and it's so shine, all these things. And then, not just for yourself, but then during the day, go out and be kind. On the Heart That Keeps Giving card on the back, it's sort of an accountability at home, how you can inspire a kindness culture in your home. So when you go, take the information on the adolescent suicide prevention. It has a place you can sign up for a newsletter, get great information and things to do at home. And there's a 24/7 hotline that kids can call, or teens can call, or parents can call, and they can help us through those kind of things. Okay? So now we're going to move on to some of the fun stuff. We're going to do these recipes. And thank you for letting me talk to you about the brain science. I just can't say how amazing it is to have those tools. So the first recipe is the Paula Deen Mint Lemon Limeade. So hard to say for me for some reason. But I just thought it was so pretty. And, she has a recipe that refines sugar and those things, but I just used these. I cheated. and the limeade, and they were easy. And then the mint, and you grind the mint down in the bottom a little bit before you pour this part in. And then the little sprigs. And you know how lemon kind of gets lost in the color of lemonade and limeade, so the little lime kind of pops. So I thought that was pretty. Yeah, and you're party ready really quickly. So now, if someone could help me by passing out, we're going to try our lemon blossoms, and I'm going to tell you quickly how we made them. Would anybody like to help pass these out? Oh, thank you so much. Okay, y'all can pass them along. So this is another Paula Deen recipe, and I want y'all to get to enjoy those. We can pass out some of the ones that were left.
I've already.
Do y'all remember, or have you been to Krispy Kreme where you get to watch the donuts go through the? That's one of my favorite adventures as a kid, was to get to go to Krispy Kreme. And well, this recipe has a glaze as well. It's that glaze when it's going through and it pours on the donuts and then it drips down, and it looks just amazing. And if they're hot, so good. These two are amazing when they're hot, but they're still pretty good. You like them? So you would put down wax paper and then put a, I don't know, what is this called?
Rack.
A rack.
Drying rack.
Yes, a drying rack. You need one of those for sure for this recipe. So any recipe that starts with a box of Jell-O is my kind of recipe. This is just the lemon Jell-O, so it's a box of lemon Jell-O and a box of cake mix. And then it's just some oil, some eggs, it's 4 eggs, and some water. Very, very simple recipe. And then those bake up. Someone asked me, how did you get the little to look like hats? And that was totally accidental. The first ones I did the 12 minutes it said, and it had, you might have one that has a little darker rim around the edge, and I thought, I'm going to cut a minute off. So I did, and they made little hats. And I thought, perfect for today. So cute. But anyway, those have some flavor of the lemon, but it is that glaze that is fantastic. And one of the best parts of the glaze is the zest. This zester is amazing. This one is borrowed from Susan Martin, and I'm going to get one because it's fabulous. And it does it really quickly, where the little small ones can take so long. But that's when I smell it. It's one of the tricks, you know, I think it's one of the secrets to the tartness of that glaze. It's just really powerful and tangy. So, so the ingredients for the glaze is just powdered sugar, water, a little bit of oil was in it, and then the zest, and just mixed together. And then the thing that makes it so even is while these are still warm, you just dip them, you dip them in there. And it said use your finger and just get it covered all over. And oh my goodness, I ate 5 like, like it was popcorn. I'm like, wait, I don't have enough for tomorrow. So I hope y'all enjoyed those. And if you want the recipe, just make sure I had your email and I'll send it to you. But you can also go to pauladeen.com, I think it is, and it's lemon blossoms is what they're called. Okay, so next we will do our spa moment. We'll do that one. This one uses lemon, sugar, and coconut oil. So in your package, that little cup, that's just coconut oil, which is so good for our skin. And then the fragrance of the lemon. I really prefer the natural lemon, but I put one of those little lemon packets in case you have an emergency. You can use that. And then just some sugar packets, but You can mix up in a little larger batch. You only need for a hand scrub, you just need like a 1/4 teaspoon. You don't need tons of the coconut oil. So there's enough for really, you could do a bath with what you've got in there and put enough sugar that it's scrubby to you, and then as much lemon as you want, okay? So enjoy that. And at the bottom of your card is one of these scriptures to remind you to have a lemon and do that during the day. And then we just have one more recipe. Does anybody have a question about the ones we've done so far?
On the scrub, do you use the lemon juice or the zest?
Juice. And the recipe's on there too, which kind of gives you the, like a 1/4
Okay, so it does say juice.
teaspoon. Juice.
The two that were in the lemon, mint, drink, is that concentrated lemonade? And
It
the
is,
other one-
it's just the frozen, you get them from the freezer department, they're concentrated, and then you add 4 cans of water. It said 4 1/3, but I just did 4. Easy to find, usually. It was a little tricky finding lemons and some of the products this time, but they all got their shipments this week, thank you. So I was glad. So the final little recipe is for an organic house all-purpose cleaner. And I think it's so pretty, and it smells good too. It smells very citrusy. So you peel, you can do the little cuties or oranges. They suggest even grapefruit, but those were the main ones that they suggested. You want something peelable, and even the lemons, I've never really peeled lemons before, but it was really easy, like an orange peel. And you just layer them, and when you get enough in your jar, you pour distilled white vinegar over it, and make sure on the very top you have a larger, like the orange, so that the little pieces don't float up, because that'll cause a little space in the air portion of it and can start mold. So you put the large orange just to keep it from floating up. Cover that with vinegar and wait about 8 to 10 days. It said 10, but I didn't start it till I'm like, oh no, only 8 days. But isn't that pretty?
Yeah,
I
that
thought it was
is.
pretty. So you just pour it off after that time. It said to sift it through mesh, but I didn't have any fruit in it because we peeled it, so that wasn't a problem. I didn't worry about it. And it comes out, you know, a little darker than that. I had it up here on the table, but it looked like a urine specimen. I said, no. Or a long trip jar. You know, so that is not on the table, and I won't show it to you. But then you just fill the jar halfway. You definitely need a funnel, because these little glass jars, almost done, with distilled water. So it's half and half. And that's it. Thank you. I'll be here all week now. But if you have any questions about anything, just stop me on your way out. And if you want to hang around, I'm going to